All right, we're here with Eli Gold, the voice of the Crimson Tide. Eli, another season starting. Can you believe it's already here?
No, it seems though the older you get, the faster the next season comes around. It really is remarkable.
And this one is a different feeling for Nick Saban, starting a relatively new quarterback. It's always been kind of a familiar guy. How is that going to affect this team going into tomorrow's game?
Well, whoever gets the start will be experiencing something a little bit new. Again, both Blake, and Coker both have experience. They've played, not a ton of experience, but it'll be something new for them. But yeah, when you look back under Coach Saban, John Parker Wilson for many, many games, and McElroy for many, many games, and of course that 40-game run for McCarron. So this is something a little bit out of the ordinary.
And one thing that they don't have to worry about, running back, three guys there who could probably start for any team in the country. That's got to be a comfort to a young quarterback who doesn't have a lot of experience.
Exactly. Great wide receivers, a good, solid crew of running backs, an offensive line that ought to be able to give you some time to work. So just, take your time. Don't force the football where it doesn't need to be. Don't put it on the ground. And, this is not a bad football team. Don't get that impression at all. But, yeah, it's going to be something new for whomever quarterbacks because, both of them have relatively limited amounts of experience.
And another thing that really helps out a quarterback is having a defense that, can do what they do. And this Alabama defense lost to C.J. Mosley, a big-time senior leader last year. Who steps into that role, and how does this defense look tomorrow?
Well, the defensive line is awesome. It really is an outstanding group of ball players. The loss of Trey DePriest is not going to help. He may not be the best athlete on the defense, but he's the guy who calls the signals defensively. So that's going to have to be, a spot that's filled in. The safeties are just fine. The corners are a little bit young, but they're good, and they've been coached by Kirby Smart and by Nick Saban. I think things ought to be just fine. It's game one. It may not be the prettiest of games, but there's no win is ever ugly. I don't go for that. Man, that was an ugly win. No win is ever ugly. They're all beautiful, and if you can walk out of the Dome tomorrow with a W on your side, you've done just fine.
Absolutely. And one of the things about the defense, a lot of people have mentioned this year or this offseason, is the hurry up, no huddle. We've heard a lot about the fast-paced offense. How do you think West Virginia is going to take what they saw from maybe Oklahoma and Auburn and kind of apply that to their game plan tomorrow?
Well, I'm sure they're going to do a good bit of that, not only because of the Auburn and Oklahoma games, but because Alabama's defensive front is so darn good that they ought to be able to handle the offensive line of West Virginia. So the Mountaineers quarterback is going to have to get rid of that football in a hurry, or else he's going to have guys in crimson and white knocking on his door. So I think out of necessity, they're going to get rid of the ball quickly. And, whether you play it a little more, you play this up-tempo stuff, it's unfortunately, part of the game. I don't like it as a fan. To me, football is not a continuous sport. It's a play, then you huddle up, play the next play. Nowhere is it written that football is a continuous sport. But, if that's what they feel they need to do to try and win, well, that's their objective, certainly. But I think whether they snap it in a hurry or not, I believe their quarterback's going to have to unload the ball in a hurry, whether it's a handoff or a two-step drop and a quick pass, because Bama's defense is going to be in on them, putting on a ton of pressure.
And watching Texas A&M last night and Kenny Hill, I mean, the West isn't going to be a piece of cake. It never is, but it's going to be a deep division.
Right around 8:30 last night, Bama's schedule just got exponentially more difficult. There's no question about it. That was quite a performance. I don't think anybody questioned the fact that they were a good ball club. But when you lose Evans, you lose Manziel, you say, well, they might be showing a little chink in the armor. Last night, Hill and the whole bunch did a magnificent job. So, yeah, the SEC people have said, and I think it's true, they will tell you that the SEC West is the best conference in college football, let alone a pretty good SEC East. But the SEC West, if you can come out of there, you've done yourself quite a job.